Hi BookTube, this is Johnny. Thought I'd make a video sitting here. It is 8:42 at night here in West Michigan by Lake Michigan. It is 8:42 at night. It is July. Yeah, we're on July the 7th. It's a Friday. It's a Friday night. It's July the 7th. So I'm sitting here writing in my diary. Well, I just came to the end of my diary. I feel like I was telling my wife at dinner time, I've been awful talkative lately. Usually I'm very quiet, even around my wife. And I've been writing like 3 or 4 or 5 pages in my diary a day, where my average is maybe 2.5 pages. My wife thinks I'm under some kind of stress, but I don't know. Maybe it's the summer weather. I don't know. I mean, I have been mourning and grieving the loss of our little friend Rudy, but I know he was sick. I mean, he was dying, and it's just, you just got to deal with it. So anyway, I feel like writing. So I'm on page 615 tonight, and I feel like writing another page. But I thought what I would do is I would come here and make a video, since it's been, I think, at least a day or 24 hours. I don't want to flood. Well, I can make a video. I can make a couple of videos every day if I wanted to, but what I do is I write in my online diaries, and I write in my paper diary. So I'm sure that there are booktubers who don't have online diaries and who don't keep paper diaries. So anyway, so the next page, if I choose to write, will be 616. So before I made the video, I was looking at my new biography on Henry David Thoreau, A Life. I've been reading the preface. I started reading this last night. I read a little bit this morning. I got out my hardback edition of Walden. This is the Everyman's Library edition of Walden. I have many editions of Walden. Hardbacks, paperbacks, annotated. I first read Walden when I was in high school, almost 48 years ago, and I'm still reading Walden. I've been into the American Transcendentalists, Emerson and Thoreau, as long as I can remember. Anyway, so I was reading that, and I wanted to talk about, well, I know, first of all, what I was going to do is I was going to do this, and I'm not going to do it. Anyway, for those who want to know, I went through 6 months of my online diaries, which record not only my everyday life, but my reading, the books I have read the last 6 months, and I typed them all out. I went from January, it took me hours to go through every single entry for 6 months and to find out what I was reading. And I copied it off. Because there's been this tag going around where people have talked about what they have read the first 6 months of this year. And I can't really do the tag because most of my reading is not fantasy or science fiction or YA or graphic novels or comic books or romance, or most of my reading is nonfiction. Christian literature, history, art, music, literary criticism, cultural studies, ancient Christianity, biblical hermeneutics, Christian spirituality, things that you can't really do a tag on. So I typed it out, and I was thought about just going through it, but I thought you guys would just get bored with it. I thought what I might do is just go through the 6 months and find the books that I enjoyed reading, the ones that stand out throughout the 6 months. I might do that. The next video, we'll see. I went to thrift stores today and yesterday, and I thought I would show what I found. Well, first of all, I mentioned that I have resigned from volunteering at the library used bookstore, the Book Nook, but I went down there late this afternoon and picked up a book that I had set aside that I was going to get tomorrow. I wanted it, and this is the one I got. It's called Mr. Timothy. It's by Louis Bayard. As I mentioned, that I have started collecting his writings. I got Roosevelt's Beast. I've shown this in the past video, and this is his other novel, Mr. Timothy. It's the Christmas season, and Mr. Timothy Cratchit, not the pious child the world thought he was, has just buried his father. He's also struggling to bury his past as a cripple and shed his financial ties to his benevolent Uncle Ebenezer by losing himself in the thick of London's underbelly. He boards at a brothel in exchange for teaching the mistress how to read, and spends his nights dredging the themes for dead bodies and the treasures in their pockets. Timothy's life takes a sharp turn when he discovers the bodies of 2 dead girls, each sheared with the same cruel brand on the upper arm. The sight of their horror-struck faces compels Timothy to become the protector of another young girl, fell mellowly from the fate of the others suffered at the hands of a dangerous and powerful man. A different kind of Christmas story, this breathless flight through the teeming market, the shadowy passageways and rolling brown fog of the 1860s London would do Dickens proud for its surprising twists and turns and extraordinary heart. It was a Newark notable book. Anyway, I went down and I picked that up. And then on the way home, I stopped at 2 thrift stores. The first one I picked up this Bibles to Mexico thrift store. This is an art book, The World of Marcel Duchamp, 1887 till, I suppose, when this was published, he was still living. Duchamp was a part of the Dadaism, and so it's like a biography, art history. I like that. The Nightmare of the Cry of Dada. The guy who wrote this, his name is Calvin Tomkins. He wrote this book that I have in my library, The Bride and the Bachelors, the 5 Masters of the Avant-Garde, Duchamp, Tequili, Cage, Rauschenberg, and Cunningham. I've had this book for years. Anyway, I picked this up. It cost me $4, but I really liked the art in it. I like, see, it's like surrealism. See, it's kind of like, I like art, so I got that. And then I went to another thrift store. called Action House, and they help clothing and furniture and food for the poor in the community. I picked up a copy of Herman Melville, Moby-Dick, The Whale. For those who know, I collect, if I see a Moby-Dick, I just get it. I got this free because at Action House, if you buy 3 books, you get one. If you get 3 paperbacks, you get one free. So I got the Herman Melville Moby-Dick free. And I picked up, those who know, I collect the writings of Mary Gordon. This is her novel Pearl. And I picked up the Tales of a Shaman's Apprentice and Ethnobotanist Searches for New Medicines in the Amazon Rainforest by Mark J. Plotkin. I like reading about the Amazon jungle, about the shamans. I've read all kinds of books, and it only cost me 60 cents. Then I picked up this collection of short writings by Roger Angell. He was the editor of the New Yorker for many years. This is called This Old Man, All in Pieces. These are like just writings, all kinds of odds and ends by Roger Angell. Then I picked up a novel by Elliot Perlman, The Street Sweeper. I read many years ago his novel, The 7 Types of Ambiguity. Ambiguity. I can't pronounce it. Anyway, I also have his volume of short stories. So this is his novel, The Street Sweeper, Elliot Perlman. So I got 3 of his writings. So I also found at Action House this Japan, The Shaping of the Daimyo. I can't pronounce it. It's Japanese. The Daimyo Culture, 1185 to 1868. This cost me $2, but it's on Japanese art. It's just really incredible. The art in here and about the illustration. It only cost $2. It's just full of wonderful illustrations of, just incredible. It's like a $35, $40 book. See, it has these kinds of things in it. It's just a really nice book, really nice. As far as what I have, I also got this morning. That's right. There's some more books here. I got yesterday. I went to a thrift store and found this novel by Orhan Pamuk. My Name is Red. He's a Turkish writer. This is translated out of Turkish by Idad Gogar. I can't pronounce it, but I have this already in hardback, but this is a paperback. It's only 60 cents. I picked up Michael Cunningham's novel By Nightfall. And I picked up this book today. My wife and I, we were out doing errands. We had to go get some cracked corn for the birds in Zeeland, which is past Holland where we live. And there's a thrift store that supports missions in Guatemala. And I found this memoir, The Spell of the Vienna Woods, Inspiration, Influence from Beethoven to Kafka by Paul Hofmann. And I found this book, The Persian Fire, The First World Empire, Battle for the West by Tom Holland. And this biography on the wife of the President John Adams, Abigail Adams, a biography by Woolley Holton. It's a Bancroft Prize. I collect the winner of the Bancroft Prize is a history prize for best book. I collect those, and I had just picked up a biography of John Adams and the American Revolution that I showed, that I got at the Friends of the Library used book sale. These are the other books I have by Mary Gordon in our library: The Love of My Youth, a novel by her. These are stories by Mary Gordon. Her novel, The Spending by Mary Gordon. So now I can add to my Mary Gordon The Pearl. So now I can add that to my Mary Gordon collection. She's written a lot of novels. I was really surprised how many she's written. Last night I started reading and really enjoyed this yesterday, The Last Intellectuals, American Culture in the Age of Academia by Russell Jacob. And I read also the Voyager and Travel Writings by Russell Banks. So that's what my Friday reads is. That's what I'll read over the weekend. As far as Christian books, I don't know. This morning we left early to go grocery shopping, to go to the post office, go to the feed store. And what I read this morning was some more of this biography of Henry David Thoreau, A Life. I really identify with the American Transcendentalists: Emerson, Thoreau, Margaret Fuller, Nathaniel Hawthorne, Herman Melville, Emmy Dickinson. Many years ago, when our son lived in Boston, he was working on his doctorate in political theory at Boston College. My wife and I, we traveled to Boston, and we traveled out to Concord, and I visited Walden Pond, and where he had built his little house. I also visited the grave of Ralph Waldo Emerson, and the Alcotts are buried there, and Nathaniel Hawthorne. So yeah. But I would like to go back and be in Concord for a week, and the same time that Thoreau and Emerson were there. Take a walk with Thoreau, take a walk with Emerson. Probably wouldn't, I don't know if they would walk with me. Anyway. But, so yeah, I've read tons of books on Emerson and Thoreau, and so I'm looking forward to reading this one. So that's what's going on in my book world. Tomorrow is a Saturday, like I resigned from the book Nook, so tomorrow I don't know what I'll do. Today I mowed the lawn, and I did yard work. So tomorrow I'll probably just read my books, write my diary, and seek the Lord. So I hope you have a good weekend. And if you notice that I've been using my newest camera, and the films are kind of soft tone. I'm sorry, but these videos, when I make these videos on this camera, they what's the word? They download in like 20 minutes. The old camera that I used, it took almost 2 hours to download a video. This one downloads, boom. And so I like that. If they're kind of ghostly, kind of fuzzy, kind of surrealistic, dreamy-like, I'm sorry. But anyway, I thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the comments. Hope you have a good weekend, and I'll probably make another video maybe tomorrow night, Lord willing. Until next time, bye.